What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Hustle with JesseW, and today we're gonna go over how to short. Check it out. All right, guys, so we're gonna jump into this video because somebody asked me on YouTube, how do you short? Like, how does shorting work? In essence, shorting is you're borrowing shares and you're like pretending to have sold them and at a certain level, wherever it is that you click short or sell, and then when you get a dip, you're gonna buy them back. Okay, that's shorting in a nutshell. You need to do that in a margin account. You cannot do it in a cash account. Okay, so it has to be done in a margin account, and you have infinite risk because if you go long a stock, like if I go long NKLA here at $68, okay, 100 shares at $6,800. The most I can lose is $6,800 if NKLA goes to zero, right? Now, if you're short, and I short NKLA here, which I wouldn't, I'm gonna tell you where I would have shorted. If I shorted NKLA here at $68 and NKLA goes up to $1,000 and I never cover that short, well then, you can do the math, grab your calculator and figure out how much I'm down at that point. So your risk is potentially infinite if you don't stick to your stop losses. Now, shorting isn't something to be fearful of, in my opinion. It's not something to be afraid of. The only time I've shorted the actual stocks themselves, but the only thing I don't do when I short is hold overnight. Honestly, I'm not saying that I'll never do it. It all depends on my position size and the stock itself. But the reason I don't short overnight is because I don't want to get caught in some random PR, some random press release that overnight sends the stock up 100% and I'm in a short position. And it can happen. Just the same as you are in a position for a swing trade to the long side, okay? And the next day, some random offering pops up and the stock crashes, 50%, 30%, and you lose a ton of money on your position, and you got to stop out for a bigger loss than you had anticipated. The same can happen to the longs, to the short side, but the risk is much bigger, because like I said, a stock can go to zero, and you're in the long side. You're just gonna lose what you had put into it initially, but a stock can go up infinite, and if you're short, your risk is infinite. It just continues to go up. Your red, your losses, your unrealized loss on it. So I choose not to hold shorts overnight. I haven't done one of those ever. I'm not saying I won't, but as of right now, that's the reason why I don't, right? I'm not saying that if I took a short on something that chances are that that's not going to happen with, I wouldn't hold overnight. I probably would, right? But no. If I'm going to hold a short overnight, the way I do it, and we can go over this at another time, is buying put options. Because the risk on my put option, let's say I put $2,000 into it, all right? And I have, 3 contracts, that's the equivalent of 300 shares. That stock can go up infinite. My put options will go to zero or a penny, and I'm just down to $2,000 versus being down potentially $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 had I actually shorted the stock itself. Now, as far as how to enter a short, you got to know a number of things. You got to know, like, this is hard to borrow. So NKLA is hard to borrow. What that means is you can read right here. Stocks that may be difficult to borrow for shorting purposes will have a hard to borrow indicator. If the stock you wish to short has this indicator, consider that it may be difficult to fill your order. For questions on shortable share availability, please contact Schwab Securities Lending at 800-355-2448. That's with Charles Schwab. You got to figure out what type of option your broker gives you on like your platform, where you can tell whether or not the stock is hard to borrow, easy to borrow, or there are no shares at all, right? In this case, if I wanted to short NKLA, I'd have to call it in, see if they have shares that they can get me so that I can short the stock itself. Now, also depending on what type of platform you have, you might have to click the sell button to open up a short position, or you might have to click, in this case, a short button that they have to short the stock itself. Sometimes if you click sell, you don't have an open position, then it'll short it. I don't know if that's the case with Charles Schwab. It depends with your broker. Your best case scenario is to ask your broker directly via chat or a phone call. In this case, I would just click the short button. I'd click short, and then once I want to exit my position, whether I'm covering, that's what's called covering your position. When I want to exit my position or cover it, since it's a short, either because I'm being stopped out or because I'm taking profit, I'd click buy. So if I shorted 100 shares of NKLA and I want to cover the full position, I'd have 100 here and I click buy, and I could do market limit, whatever it is you want to do. That's how you would, open and close the position within here. Now, as far as the strategy goes, let's go ahead and go over to, was it FFHL? This is a potential short. Okay, there's a potential short, and the way that short would work is very simple, and I'm going to go over it step by step here for you, and we're gonna go over exactly how it would work: entries, stops, exits, etc. Okay, now before we do me a quick favor. If you enjoy this type of content, remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you're alerted when I upload my video, smash the like button for me, comment in the comment section below, let me know what next video you want me to make, and check out the links in the description section below to Webull. You download the app, you fund your account with $100, and you get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400. You have a first trade down there as well. You download the app, open an account, no need to fund it, you get 1 free stock. And also, if you're looking for scanners like these, Trade Idea scanners, link in the description section below or in the comment section, you'll find the link to the scanners along with my coupon code for 15% off. Make sure you take advantage of that. Now, the way that would work is you would see here the quick push. Okay, you'd come back down, and now I would never short this on the right up. There's people who will short, add. I would not do that. I like to do it to the backside, right? So now we crash back down, we break under a VWAP. This is the first, you break under VWAP, this is the first bounce attempt right back up here to VWAP. Now, ideally, I just don't have an ideal chart here to go over. Ideally, you would wait for this to get really close up there and test that VWAP. This is pretty close, not bad. Okay, VWAP at the time was like at 850. This goes to 841. Not bad. You could take a starter there. You can add in here. If it starts to break up over VWAP, you can stop out of it. That's what I would do. Okay, now that's your short. Boom. Okay, in this case, that's your short. Now we pull it in. We pull it into a prior halt price. I would take profit there. Not all of it. I'd cover some of my position there because I often trade to the long side stocks that pull in to a previous halt price. So I know that longs like to get long in there sometimes. So I'd cover some of my position there. Now, what would I do? Would I hold my stop up here still? Or would I bring my stop down? At this point, I'd bring my stop down to this 9 EMA, potentially if it shows that it's going to be resistance. We break up above the 9 EMA. We can't go past this $8 zone, okay? So now we break back underneath the 9 EMA. Now I know the 9 EMA is now, me personally, my new stop. I will ride this 9 EMA down. And any big extension move, I will cover some more. So we have another extension move down here. Remember, we're short from 840, 838, okay? We're short from up here. We've covered some down here at 740. It's $1 already, okay? And now we've covered some more here on this extension move down here to $7. All right, and now we're still holding on to some with this 9 EMA as our line in the sand. As long as this 9 EMA keeps coming on down and basically kind of pushing this stock down, I'm gonna stay in my position. I've taken profit. I usually take profits in 2 to 4 different spots, preferably 3. So I've taken profits here. I've taken profits here, and I still have some more to take, right? So let's say this last take profit. If I feel like we can get down here to $6, I'd get this last take profit. Let's say I took, 30% of my position off here, another 30% off here, and I still have, another 30 some odd percent of my position, here. So I break that off into half, and I take half in here at 650. That's a monster take profit. And then I hold on to one last piece to see if we can get down here to $6. And that's exactly how I would trade it. If we break up above this 9 EMA, which is right now coinciding with this $7 zone, which is a whole dollar, you know how that psychological support resistance zones happen. If we break up above this, I will stop out of the remainder of my position and I'll be done. But as long as we're holding underneath this 9 EMA here, all right, as long as we go and test it even and come back down, I will stay in that position here. Now we're finding support here at 650, so anything can happen. Also, volume is a good indicator. You want to always be watching your volume. What happened here on this big dump, okay, we had an increase in volume. Now here we're trying to hold this 650, but we're holding it on pretty light volume. So unless some strong volume comes in through here, I expect this 650 to break to the downside. Let's see if it's gonna happen here anytime soon. We have 1,800 shares at 657 on the bid. So I wish I could fast forward this, but this is live. So it is what it is here. Let's see if it happens. But now you guys understand how I would enter a short position, establish my stop area and my take profit zones. Okay, that's how I would play this out. Now this looks like it might hold on to 650, maybe go sideways for a little bit here, and we're not going to make this video too long, so we're going to go ahead and cut this here. Any questions, drop them in the comment section below. Remember to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button for me, and I'll catch you on the next one.